Wow, what a great end to a very challenging and tough and unique season. Last week, I don't know how much I explained to you guys. That was all the losses have been tough for us because we've had a chance to win every game. But the last week was tough. And honestly, there were some things that happened that were out of our control that would have changed the outcome of the game. That made it even tougher, right? And that just is what it is. And all week, you try to flush it and say, listen, we're going to go finish this the right way, And I've told y'all, you see progress in different places, and it's always been about us. It's never been about the opponent. It's always been about us. And really, for the first time all year, 100%, our kids went out and had fun and played Kennesaw State football. And I ain't seen it in a while. I've seen glimpses of it, but those of you who've been around here have seen it. And you saw it today. And again, I'm talking about us. I'm not talking about who we play. I'm talking about how we play. If y'all remember, that's the first thing I talked about at the beginning of the year. And it's really always been that way here. We had fun. There was energy. There was enthusiasm. And we were able to send the seniors, especially those 4 super seniors who were, the legacy they leave in this program is go on for years and years. You talk about Jonathan Murphy, Isaac Foster, Terrell Paxton got to spike a ball in the end zone tonight. And Markeith Montgomery, and they all 3 skilled kids scored a touchdown. We got Terrell in. He started it Thursday in practice. They all would go run in the end zone, and he would grab the ball and spike it. And I'm like, I'm gonna kill him if he does it in the game. And then we got down and said, if we can find a way to get down there, we're gonna put him back in the game and let him go have it. And he didn't even get the penalty. Murphy got the penalty for running out of the box. So it couldn't have ended better, even though the season wasn't one any of us, but for those guys and our team to end on a really positive note, it's huge for us, especially for y'all that follow us regularly, which most of everybody in here does. It's been one of those years, right? But I told them, I said, guys, that's just what it's supposed to be like. You're supposed to have fun playing the game. And Kennesaw State football has a little bit of a way we do things, and we were a little more that way tonight. And we got a long ways to go, but I know it may not always show up in the win column, but we're making progress. We got a lot to do. We got a lot of work to do, but we're making progress. So ultimately proud of our kids, proud of our seniors. I think it speaks volumes about our program. I'm going to be honest with you. You go a lot of places to go through a season like this, dude. They might not show up today. And you got the other side of it. I think it speaks volumes about the character of our program and the young men that are in our program and how resilient they are. And because this was I was worried about it as soon as the game was over Saturday. That immediately you're like, you're worried about them being able to bounce back again. But to their credit, they did. And it was fun. Had a good time. I actually enjoyed this Saturday. Saturday's not been a lot of fun. You know what I mean? It just is what it is, but we enjoyed this one, and our kids had fun. And it's like exciting to go get Terrell and say, hey, dude, we're going to put you in the game. You're going to freaking spike the ball, and we're going to take the penalty, and we're good with it. You know what I mean? So it was good. It's good. So I'm up for questions.
Coach, you alluded to the fact how everything's been difficult this year, always kind of playing just right there, even with the opponent. How much easier did it make the fact that the first 10 minutes you guys are up 21-0, you get that defensive touchdown, you're running the ball. How much easier did it make the rest of the game in order to finish it off right?
Kind of reminded me of the old days, John, when we'd get going early and it would be over. You know what I mean? And, and I say the old days, I'm just saying, you know what I mean by that. And, and it does, it does help because we've kind of played on from behind a lot, and we didn't the week before. We actually got ahead and couldn't manage that either. But it did, they were, I don't know. I wasn't completely sure coming into the game exactly what it was going to look like. I'm going to be honest with you. I got done talking to him in pregame, and I told some of the coach walking out, I don't know what's going to happen today, boys. They just want to give me a lot of feedback. And but it does help. I mean, anytime you get up like that, and there's a lot of momentum and energy, it builds on it. And I think, I think it obviously helps. And we've struggled with the moments this year, you know, but we never really got into much today because of what you said. And that's something we got to go to work on. We'll be able to fix that. But, so.
Sometime in the second half, I think it was after a pretty long punt return, it looked like you and Isaac were joking around a little bit on the sideline, like we're going to get you one. That kind of looked like it.
Mm-hmm.
How, you know, when you cap a 7-year career and you get that last catch and take it in for a touchdown, what did that mean? Not only for him, but for you guys to see him get that last touchdown.
If you saw me when it happened, it would probably explain it all. It's probably the fastest I've moved, probably the excited I've been, because I didn't say anything about it all week. But when we got in game, once we got going a little bit, I said 12 is going to get in the end zone today. Somehow, some way, we're getting 12 in the end zone. He's never been in a season here he hasn't scored. And by gosh, we weren't going to have another one. I mean, we were going to let that streak live on. So it was a mission. And, you know, and we had some stuff, and different stuff happened, but I was pretty excited. I was pretty excited for Markeith because, you know, he went on a run last year, and this year hadn't been quite as kind in a lot of ways. And then for Isaac to get his, like I said, for those 4 guys, and there's other seniors, but those 4 are unique, you know. And so, like I said, all 4 of them hit today, you know, and that was huge. But you'll see it on tape or on I don't get real animated in the game unless I'm mad, but I was pretty happy for him. I'm happy for those kids, man. Their leadership, y'all, you know, when you go through this stuff, like you don't understand, like, as a coach, you do everything you can, but at the end of the day, those kids in the locker room, they're the ones that make it go. And in a tough season, it could go a lot of different directions, right? But them kids wouldn't let that happen. And I think that you know, that talks a lot about them.
Well, first off, congratulations, Coach. Like you said, this was almost a throwback game of the way Kennesaw football used to look, and probably will look again very soon.
Absolutely.
And let's get into your defense. They were not only in the backfield quite a bit, they were pass deflecting. The opponent's yards was really close to 100. I think they barely clipped 100 at the end. Talk a little about that defense.
I thought they were active. You know, I think there was a pressure on the quarterback most of the night. And I thought guys were flying to the ball. You know, I mean, there's times, but there were some collisions out there today, which is, again, it kind of goes back to the first part of it, right? That should be Kennesaw State football. The great thing about it is, too, you got a lot of guys out there that have gotten a ton of reps in the last few weeks that in a normal situation would be a backup. You know, and those reps, they've gained that. And a lot of freshmen, too, especially on defense, because there's roughly, like, I think we had 9 guys that have been out for several weeks now. And those reps are invaluable, right? And so I think it was good to see those guys have some success, and then also get some young guys in the game and have them do some good things and screw up some things. But you got to get in the game to do that, you know. And actually, I feel a little bad, and I want to say this too. I got a lot of respect for Virginia Lynchburg and what they do. And, you know, obviously there was, you know, we're trying to shorten the game a little bit. And in my mind, I had some quarterbacks that need to play, and I'm trying to manage how you do that. And you know, so I do have a lot of respect, and there was nothing ever out there it was really just us trying to get a little bit better and gain some experience. Might look a little different way, but it wasn't meant to be that way at all. And I didn't really get a chance to tell him that after the game. So anyways.
And then lastly, you talk about people getting reps and everything. We got to see the debut of Eric Cavillo as a potential kicker down the road, and some other people on special teams got some reps. Talk a little about the special teams.
Yeah, so we did. There was a lot of other guys. Obviously, Eric got, you know, he made all his extra points today, you know, and that's positive, right? Especially if you want to watch us play. But he made them all today. We really didn't have any field goal opportunities, and you know, but it's good for him. He's a kid who tried out, showed up a couple weeks after school started, you know, and tried to get him in a little earlier in the year, and he just wasn't ready, and it was good for him to do that. And there were some other guys I thought did some good things out there today too. And like I said, we got a lot of young guys in the game, which is we'd hope we'd have been able to do a little bit more along the way, just weren't able to. And I think that's going to pay dividends down the road, especially those guys at quarterback. You know, Davis got a couple series. Braden got in, got his feet wet, all good, bad, or indifferent. And then Cole got in and had a chance to lead us down the field, which for those guys, man, even if it's not a lot, it's a game. And those guys are going to have to play next year, you know. So I thought that was a huge positive. And there's a lot of other guys. You always see the quarterback. You saw the running backs, right? I keep talking about them, but you saw them tonight. 32, even 28 came in, and he shouldn't have bounced the ball outside, but he got in the end zone. 30 got banged up, but there was a lot of guys that we've been trying to get involved more, and I wish this thing would have gone a little better where we could have done it, but it was good to see those guys get in. It's good for morale, especially going into an off season, and it's also good for those guys to get that first game out of the way. As we know, next year we're going into a little different venue, a little different season, and all those things, right? So it's good for those guys to go in and play and get that experience. I think it's huge.
Braden only got one series, but we'll let that go, Coach.
Well, if he would have sent the guy in motion like he was supposed to, maybe we got a first down, wouldn't have to go for a fourth down. But anyway,
yeah. Talk to me about, from the beginning since you've been coaching, what would you rank this year as far as mental, what it took out of you to coach these type of games, this season in general for you? How was it for you?
It's the hardest I've ever been a part of. It doesn't even hold. It's not even close. And it's just a lot of things at one time, Emmanuel. It's not like one thing. You got all the change. Offensively, it's just different. You know what I mean? It's just all the moving parts, the position changes, the red shirting, nothing to play for. I mean, you can sugarcoat it all you want. It is what it is, right? You ain't in a conference. You got 9 games. Like, it just all was at one time. And I'm not making excuses. You asked me the question because y'all been around me long enough. That's not me. Yeah. But it was hard. And just figuring out who we were, we didn't start to identify who we were probably till the bye weeks. And coming out of the bye weeks, we started to get a little handle on kind of how we were going to move forward. And you could see it progressing, Hey, we snapped the ball to the quarterback again today. Ain't that great? Huh? Isn't that a good thing? Yeah. So, but there's no two ways about your question. And I'm not, by far the hardest in my coaching career, not my head coaching career, probably my coaching career. It's just the self-talks on a daily, right? To keep everybody, starting with myself, in the right mindset to keep moving forward. And that's why today was such a good day, right? That's why today was such a good day, because some football teams would go in a lot different direction today. And I give our kids credit and our staff credit, to do that. So yeah, it's been tough. I'm not gonna sit here and shoot. I think y'all can see my body language when I come in a press conference, and I'm trying to make it better, but it is what it is. And, I think y'all see that.
So with that, what are your feelings going into the next phase of this program?
Yeah.
Going to Conference USA, new season, you got to go into the off season. I know you want a little break, but the season coming up. So what are your thoughts about going into that next phase?
I mean, we're excited about the opportunity. We have a lot to do. We kind of know where we are, what we need to go do to put ourselves in a position to be competitive and have a chance to go win ball games, which is what we've always been here. I think I'm hopeful, and I do believe this, that the group coming back, right? We go back to those early days when we're out to prove to people that we belong. That's the space we got to get in right now. We're going to go get a little tougher in the off season, be a little more disciplined so we don't get caught up in a moment. Don't let the moment be too big. You be the moment, right? Some things we're going to go to work on. Obviously, recruiting is number one. We'll have coaches next week, probably ranging from Georgia to California, to go find some age to help us move forward. And we got a good nucleus coming back that I think will be hungry and have something to prove. And just like when we started, we want to go make history. We want to do some things that have never been done here before. First FBS home game, right? First Conference USA home game, first Conference USA game period. A lot of stuff that's never been done here, you know, and we're gonna go attack it. We're gonna be ready for it. And got a lot to do in the off season, you know, and we got a lot of challenges out there, right? You know, and so, but we're gonna go to work on that stuff, and you know, we're looking forward to it. I mean, it's, I'm glad it ended the way it did, and I'm glad it's over. To be honest with you, because it's just it's a tough gig, right? Like, it's just a lot of moving parts. So it's ended on a good note. We can go build on it. We know the things we need to go do to get ready, and we're gonna go do it.
You mentioned that dominant start in the first quarter. Just how valuable was Michael Benefield in getting things going tonight?
I think he's had 3 games, 100+ yards.
4 now. It's never been done before.
Four. It's 4,
Four straight.
and it's never been done.
Never
There you go. He's run the ball well. So a historical moment. I'm glad Sanders, I think Goss was trying to tell me, and I was probably on the way over here, so I don't know if Goss did tell me. But 4 games in a row, 100 yards plus. And I'll say this, it's a credit to him, but it's a credit to the offensive line we've kind of pieced together. Those guys got better as well. Even though there's some guys that are out of position, out of place, that are probably, but they're finding a way to make some, you know, to make some holes. But he's run the ball well. He does a great job, and he's a great kid, and you know, so extremely proud of him and the guys up that are helping him block at tight ends. Played without Carson Kent today, so Rowan Darnell had to play the whole game. Preston Daniels had to pretty much play the whole game because Carson got hurt in the last game. And I thought those guys did a pretty good job as well.
All right. Thank you, Coach.
All right, appreciate y'all for being here. Thank you.
Thanks, Coach.